Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Conversations with Queens. I am your Mrs. USA World, Laura Swan. I started Conversations with Queens because as a queen and a title holder, we have these amazing conversations with other sisters that are truly life-giving, I find, and about real things that matter. And we get to find out each other's stories and our passions and our purpose. And we get to live that journey and we get to help each other to continue that journey. And I felt like so many more people needed to see that aspect of what we do. So I started Conversations with Queens, and I've had weekly conversations with many queens across the world and invited different people to share their stories and their journeys with us. So today I am honored that we have Keerah Yeowang, who is the Ms. Wisconsin USA Global Queen. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be on with you.
Oh, absolutely. I have so much I want to talk to you about. I want to ask you first to just share with us how your pageant journey started. What got you started in that?
Absolutely. So for me, my pageant journey, I can feel it slipping. I feel it slipping already. So for me, my pageantry journey actually started about a decade ago. It started like 10 years ago when I was, I believe, 18. My mom signed me up for a pageant. I was in the Cities of America system and I did Ms. Teen Milwaukee for that system. And all I remember is showing up to one meeting and they told me, and they were like, oh, good luck to all the contestants. We'll see you all this weekend and good luck to everyone. And I had not prepared anything. I didn't know much about anything. And it was kind of that lack of preparation for me that kind of bombed the on-stage question. So it kind of a little fear set in and a little fear of failure set in and a bit of stage fright. So that was kind of how I started. But then fast forward 10 years, people would tell me kind of over the years, like, oh, you should do pageants, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, been there, done that. I'm not going back to that. And I remember vividly, I was in my bedroom. I was laying down in the dark, scrolling on my phone as we do, being addicted to our phones. Mm-hmm. And my mom called me and she was like, Keerah. And I'm like, yes, Mom. She's like, I signed you up for a pageant. And I'm like, well, unsign me up because I'm not doing it. I don't think I'm going to be re-entering this. But I just told her, give me a day to kind of think about it. And, I'll let me think about it and I'll get back to you. And I obviously went forward with it. And it has been absolutely amazing so far. So that's been my pageantry journey so far.
I'm so glad you shared that because we all have a different story of how we got started, but we all end up saying it is amazing. Like I didn't know what I was doing, but there's something that gives you, it really helps you to grow personally. And so thank you so much for sharing that. What was the thing about it that was so amazing for you? Like the second time around, I'm just curious.
I think it was because last time I did not prepare, but this time I kind of had an idea of what I wanted my platform to be. And I've really taken the preparation process a bit more seriously. And by me kind of surrendering to the process, it's been so much more enjoyable. Well, by me knowing the process, first of all. And then, just going through the motions, I guess you can say, and not having like a destination, obsession with the destination, but enjoying where I am right now and really taking each opportunity and really giving it my all. That's what's been making it so great for me.
I absolutely love that you shared that because I think we all forget that you have to enjoy the journey along the way, the work that goes in, the digging down deep, and I like to say peeling off the layers to really be your true, authentic, best self. And if you can enjoy that and have fun along the way, then you show up and it just translates and
Absolutely.
people see that. And on
Mhm.
top of that, yes, we are competing. There is a title, but it's honestly for me, and I know for you too, we're going to talk about that, but it's about so much more. It's about the journey. I know it sounds cliche to say the
It
journey,
does,
but
but it's true.
it's true because
Mhm.
like how have you changed since that, decade ago to not even just that pageant to like where you are now?
So for me, obviously pageants can do a lot for your career, right? And it has because I'm a makeup artist. I've been a makeup artist for 7 years. I've been in the makeup, fashion, modeling space, and pageant space. So all the beauty entertainment spaces, I guess you can say. And so it's done a lot for me in that area, but more so, I think it has done something for my inner person, if that makes
For
sense.
sure. Oh
I,
yeah.
mhm.
Yeah, totally, right?
Yeah, I really think what it has done for me so far, it has enlightened or illuminated my perspective on my own potential, like my belief system or what I believe my capacity is to meet my potential. That's really what I believe it has done for me. It has changed my perspective on what I feel like and I believe and are confident in what I can do.
That is powerful, Keerah. That is just powerful. And the fact that that came through your pageantry journey, right, is amazing because it's about more. It's about what we do outside of the pageant. And
Right.
but we learn it while we're in these pageants and while we are speaking about our platforms and we're using our voice to make a difference. Speaking of platforms, could you share yours with us?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I remember my first call with the current Miss USA Global, and she asked me like, "Oh, what will your platform be?" And I was still kind of stumped from being selected as Miss Wisconsin USA Global. So I hadn't given it a whole lot of thought up to that point, but it instantly came to me that I was obviously going to do something surrounded around the idea of confidence, because I wasn't confident growing up, and I kind of wanted to be what I did not have growing up. So I'm 6 feet tall. First of all, people wouldn't know unless you see me. I'm 6 feet tall. I have like bolts for feet. I'm dark skinned. I'm dark skinned, but as a kid, I mean, that's great, obviously. But as a kid, I did not know that. And what is just different, I saw as being like a liability. I saw it as being abnormal. So me coming into like the modeling space and the fashion space and all that stuff, especially the modeling space, is where my confidence journey kind of started. And that was a space, especially that celebrated me for being different. So it started to change my perspective on what beauty standards are. In the modeling industry, the beauty standards are kind of flipped. So high fashion modeling, especially, women that have anything quirky about them are praised and almost like pedestalized. So if you have like a gap, if you have larger eyes, anything that is different is considered like otherworldly beautiful. So in that space is really where my confidence grew. It was no like pivotal moment. It never just like a light bulb didn't just like light up in my head. But as I was in that space, is where it really like sparked for me. So I wanted to create that for other people. So I started a Facebook group called The Powder Room, where we celebrate women's difference. So I do that by having practical things, like tips and tricks on how to do your makeup, fashion, this, that, and the third. And then we have perspective conversations, or candid conversations, I like to call them, about all things surrounding womanhood. So it's kind of like a place for women to come undone, not worry about having to be the total package. And we just have a good time and hopefully produce some confidence. That's the goal.
I just want to unpack some of that because you said so
I
much,
did.
and it's okay. I think confidence is one of those things that really does come through pageantry. I know for myself as well. You really have to. It takes a lot to be prepared to like practice your interview, to do the interview, to put yourself out there, to get on a stage, to do the appearances and even put a sash on.
Yes.
But what an amazing gift to now you be able to use that experience as your voice, and now create a space where other women and girls can come and experience that and learn through your example. And I think I just want to highlight that, because as queens, as women that are inspiring and empowering and leading other women, that is a true gift, is confidence. I think that's an amazing platform, and one that I applaud you for, and one that I back you 100%, because that's one of the things that I think all of our girls, quite honestly, our girls need when they are 10 years prior, right? In your decade when you first started and you were like, I don't know about this. So
Right.
I applaud that. I support that. I have an 11-year-old daughter. She does not have a confidence problem, thank God. But you know, that can change when you suddenly start being surrounded with peers and social media and whatever. And so I hope that I'm giving her the tools to stay true to who she is, and to be her best self, and to know that, to your point, being, you know, different is what makes us each unique. It's our unique story. That's amazing. Tell us a little bit more about the powder room. I know that has kicked off, and it looks super fun. And one thing I want to also say is that this grew out of your pageantry journey. This was not a part of the plan in the beginning, right?
No, it was not.
But this is another thing that is not just about this one journey. It's about the impact we make on the world that comes from our own personal growth. And for us, it has come through pageantry. It has come through being title holders. It has come through living our platform, quite honestly. So tell us a little bit more about that.
So what I wanted to do, I have been thinking, like, what can I do? And I actually I had the name the Powder Room for a long time, for years. And it's crazy because I have names for things before I know what it's going to be for. I know I think that's a God thing.
It is totally a God thing.
Yeah. So when I was deciding, okay, how am I going to turn this, you know, my platform into more of a project, something that I can be actively doing myself outside of volunteering and things like that. And I knew I wanted to bring women in and be able to give to them in some kind of way. So what we do there, like I was saying, is we do makeup, fashion. We talk about or instruct, or I do tutorials on that type of stuff, on fashion, makeup, or beauty. Or we talk about perfume, all things womanly, girly, that type of thing. And then we have our candid conversation. So the last one we just had on Tuesday was about, it was for the month of May. So it was highlighting moms. And I'm not a mom, so I wanted to just create a conversation for other moms to be able to talk to each other. So I call it the Powder Panel. And the topic was Boss Mom Month. And we just got the women together. They talked about what it means to be a mom, what it means to be a boss mom, whether you're an entrepreneur or not. I think all moms are bosses. So we did that for May. The last month, April, I actually had another woman on, an influencer. Her name is Nay Harrison. And we just talked about what it really is to be, what it really means to be confident in 2021, especially in this like pixel perfect world we live in, what it really means to be confident. So I especially thought she would add a lot of value to the conversation, as she is a Black woman with albinism. So that's pretty much in a nutshell what we do. I'm actually going to be having what I'm calling a virtual beauty summit in the next couple weeks. This is the first time I'm mentioning this, but I'm going to mention it. And it's going to be where we will do 3 days, 1 day for prom girls, 1 day for brides, and 1 day for the career woman, the everyday woman, the working mom. So we're going to be, there are 3 days. It's going to be 3 makeup artists, myself and 2 other women. And we're just going to be going through different looks for the prom girl who may not be able to afford a makeup artist, or she's in a small town and she cannot get to a good makeup artist, or a bride who can't afford bridal makeup because that's pretty expensive, or a career woman who is just needs to get her makeup done 10 minutes before she's heading out to a board meeting. So that's pretty much the objective of the Beauty Summit.
I love it. Again, something that grew out of your passion and your alignment with your purpose. And I think that that is something that is, again, I wanted to highlight, isn't visible when you're just thinking about what is pageantry, but it is so much more. And that's why I wanted to invite you to talk about that. I think it's amazing. And I bet if I asked you, the answer would be, did you know you were going to do this a year ago? No. Right. No. I didn't know I was doing this a year ago either. But it has kind of grown out of my platform for women, uniting women. And as I thought about the power of bringing women together to share our passion, share our purpose, find a forum to do it, you know, everything, especially this whole last year, became so virtual that this is a great space to do it in. And so I've been able to meet and speak with and highlight and interview some amazing women like yourself. And again, I didn't plan on it, but it has been so, so purposeful and so just aligned with wanting to give back, wanting to make an impact, and wanting to empower women. I know that also sounds cliche, empower, but truly, it's true. I mean, confidence, right? Confidence breeds empowerment, which allows you to do things that you never thought you would do before. Right. But for me, and I know for you too, it's about a greater purpose. It's about making a difference. It's about changing somebody's life, giving them confidence, helping them know how to do their makeup. You should do a Zoom lesson, like how to do Zoom makeup.
Yes. I have some stuff in the works now, so.
All right.
Stay tuned.
Keerah, what would you tell somebody that's never done a pageant before?
Ooh, I would tell someone who's never done a pageant before, whether they're thinking about it or not, that a lot of people have this perception of pageant queens, people who participate in pageants, that, you know, it's all just glitz and glam and that's just it. And I would tell them that coming back into the pageant space, I have met some of the most intelligent, passionate women I have ever met ever. And I've been in kind of all the beauty spaces, but there's nothing quite like the pageant space. I've spent the most time in kind of, I believe, modeling and makeup, but there's nothing I have experienced quite like pageantry. Pageant women they're moms, they're advocates, they're lawyers, they're business owners, they're public speakers. I would tell someone that pageant queens are just powerful women, all in all together, just amazingly powerful women. And there's so much that goes into before when we just see show day. There's so much preparation and work that these women put into their pageantry journey. So that's what I would tell someone. And if someone is interested in doing it, I would tell them that pageantry isn't about necessarily the outer appearance. And I knew that before coming back into it, but especially now that I'm in it and I know, you know, how much it takes to make something work, or, you know, the work that you put in. When you have a passion or a purpose or an advocacy, that is kind of what speaks for you. And that's what's going to help you to stand out. It's not about the outer appearance.
It's true. And people only see usually that one snapshot, which is, again, why I felt it was important to show what it's really like. What we should do a whole show on how much preparation goes into actually the one day of the pageant. But truly that work, yes, there's a pageant, which is ultimately a goal, right? The work that we do to prepare for that ultimately is work that takes us on through the rest of our purpose throughout life, I find, because you're literally walking the walk, talking the talk, you know, sharing your heart, sharing your purpose, doing community service that aligns with your platform, and because we want to, right? It's no one says we have to, it's just because we're making a difference, and that is truly has been for my journey, and I know for yours too, one of the most rewarding, most unexpected, but truly, like, I look forward to so much of it. Part of the journey is really being able to have a voice and to make a difference and to advocate for people across many different platforms, because we now have a space where we can do that. So that's been a blessing too.
Awesome. Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, say that, because I had two more questions for you.
Okay. So yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, pageantry really just catapults you into your purpose. Whatever God has put you
Absolutely.
here for, it kind of just puts it on like overdrive. During that time, you are doing your community service, your platform. It really is a time for you to maximize whatever your purpose is.
Absolutely. I mean, I believe there are no accidents. Everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a purpose. Even though some of us didn't expect this is where we're going to end up
Right.
years ago, it is absolutely all meant to be making a difference. And not just for, I mean, for myself as well as you. Like, my life has changed so much in a positive way because of all of that. I was going to say, who inspires you?
Oh, my mom for sure. That's kind of like a no-brainer. I know everybody says that, but my mom really does inspire me. She's the one who signed me up for both pageants.
Yep, that's true.
And I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't going to do it. But my mom is such an example to me. My mom is the ultimate go-getter. I come from like a business family, so my mom is learning cryptocurrency right now and forex trading right now, and I'm not even. And it's too much. It's kind of too much for my mind at times because it's so much that goes into it. But my mom is who inspires me, who has always been my cheerleader. Every little extracurricular activity I wanted to do, my mom has been there and pushed me. I remember one time I tried out for America's Next Top Model, and I missed the tryouts here in Wisconsin. So we drove all the way to Indiana to try, so I could try out for America's Next Top Model. I didn't make it. But it just goes to show you how much my mom really supports me and pushes me. And she just inspires me because my mom, oh my goodness, she really inspires me. I'll leave it like that.
Clearly, I think that's amazing. I think, what an example. I mean, that's awesome. And the fact that she signed you up for
Yes.
pageants, she knew what you were capable of even before you did. I think that that's somebody also that really just has a vision, that they see our potential before we see it ourselves. And then as soon as you step into it, your power and your purpose, you're like, oh,
Like, wow, I didn't
what
know.
you're talking about.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
My last question is, do you have a favorite quote or a verse or something that just really is your go-to and gives you that reminder of, you know, what you're doing and why?
Absolutely. So a scripture that has been on my heart lately is 1 Corinthians 2:9. And I'm going to read it because I don't want to misquote it. I know how to paraphrase, but I'm going to read it. It says, "No eyes has seen, no ears has heard, and no mind has imagined what God has prepared for those who love him." And that is so kind of near and dear to me, especially because I said, you know, my mind has been kind of enlightened to what I feel like my capacity is, or my capacity has been enlarged to meet my potential. When you're potential, especially, I feel like for a lot of people, potential or to think about potential is almost can be a source of torment for people. When you feel like you have so much you can do, you have this huge dream, you have all these ideas, you have this vision for your life, but you feel stagnant, you feel maybe stuck, or you don't feel like, you don't feel like you have the capacity or the ability to do it. That just really resonates with me. that tells me not only do I have, a plan or a vision, but God has one for me too. And it's beyond what I could even imagine for myself.
I think that is amazing. I mean, my favorite verse is Jeremiah 29:11. I call it my life verse. It was a verse that God put on my heart years and years ago when I felt like I was like, what is my purpose? I was in college. I was like going through stuff, and like that verse just became my go-to for I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, plans for good and not for evil, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans for hope and a future. And I have just been like, okay, I'm going to get up then. There's a hope and a future, and there are plans. And as I have walked through life, that plan, I never, like the part that amazes me is like I didn't see what it was going to look like until I walked through it, but I believed to just keep walking, and I walked, and I look back and I'm like, I did not see that coming.
Not at all. Not at all.
But here we are, right? And he's given each of us a verse. I believe he gives all of us a plan and a purpose. And so my purpose is to unite women together so that you can share your purpose. We can share our passion. We can change lives, even if it's inspiring one person with confidence or one person to step into their strength and out of their fear, which is another part of my platform. And, you know, for me, if it's one, like it doesn't have to be about the crown. It just needs to be that we impact lives and that we change lives and make a difference. And using pageantry and our title or our crown to make that happen, to me, is just a gift and a platform and a space to share our voice, our purpose, and our passion. So
yes, I love that.
it has been wonderful talking with you today, Keerah. I can't wait to see what happens with the powder room and with your
so much.
glam sessions too. I might have to sign up for some of those. So anyway, thank you so much, Keerah. Again, I'm Laura Swan. I'm your current Mrs. USA World. It's my honor, my purpose, and my platform and my passion to bring women together, women uniting women, to shine our light. And so thank you. We will be back next week again with another special guest. It's been an honor, Keerah. Have a beautiful rest of your week.
You as well. See you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.